Ah, sleep. Who doesn't like waking up feeling refreshed? Sleeping through the night with no interruptions, your dog jumping on you the second your eyes open. I love that. And I also love those vivid dreams you can't stop thinking about. Have you ever had a dream that foreshadowed the future? How does that even happen? It's crazy. Is it based on a previous experience and our subconscious mind recognizes a pattern of repeated behavior? I don't know. I mean, it really is crazy to me. Are our dreams a higher level of consciousness? I really don't know, but I love sleep and I wish I got a lot more of it. Some people talk in their sleep. Some people even walk in their sleep, stepbrother style. I love that scene. Everything and everyone sleeps. Right now, our ancient brains are out of touch with our bodies, causing a wide range of sleep disruption disorders. For example, light pollution. Humans are still adapting to blue lights. Over time, our eyes have developed the ability to tolerate the red light. See, people would eat dinner and gather around the fire before heading to bed, and why red lights don't affect you as much. So, if you need a light in your bedroom, go for the red light. However, the optimal sleeping situation is pure darkness. Sleep is one of the most important elements to your health. It gives us cognitive focus and function. It's when we recover from the workout the day before and when our body repairs itself. Sleep gives us energy and it helps us let go of all the stress. Sleep has two types. You know that rapid eye movement sleep when people's eyes are bugging out? The REM sleep, which provides dreams, emotional regulation, what's possible, what's not possible. It's like sleep's explorer mode. It's like our bodies are going offline as if we're hallucinating. Did I mention I love those vivid dreams? The other kind, that slow wave sleep, it fixes our memories and puts them in place. And it may actually realign your brain after REM sleep messes it all up, per Brett Weinstein. Sleeping helps regulate our weight with hormones. Numerous studies have associated short sleep defined as sleeping fewer than 7 hours per night with a greater risk of weight gain and a higher body mass index, which is your BMI. In fact, a 2020 analysis found that adults who slept fewer than 7 hours per night had a whopping 41% increased risk of developing obesity. Meanwhile, sleeping longer didn't really increase the risk. The effect of sleeping on weight gain is believed to be affected by a number of factors, including hormones and your motivation to exercise. For instance, sleep deprivation increases levels of ghrelin and decreases the levels of leptin. Ghrelin is a hormone that makes us feel hungry, while leptin makes us feel full. This may cause us to feel hungrier and overeat. You know, our ancestors, as recent as 150 years ago, would average 9 to 10 hours of sleep. In today's do more world with less, getting a legit full night's rest is not even realistic for some of us. I personally shoot for 8 or 9, but really I end up probably getting 7 more times than not. If you're someone who has time to get 9 hours of sleep, well then you better. And you're staying up instead, well, either you're rare and somebody who can get away with that because not everybody needs the same amount, but you'll most likely have an issue associated to your lack of sleep. When you're tired, you try to make up for it by eating more, and you're most likely choosing foods high in carbohydrates, looking for that energy rush, even though what you're really doing is hopping on an insulin roller coaster for the day. You'll have to keep putting those carbs in to maintain that energy until you go to sleep that night. So, sleep affects cognition, concentration, productivity, performance. They're all negatively affected by your sleep deprivation. So, let's really get into this and go through several specific consequences of a lack of sleep. All these statistics and studies below are from PubMed Central. We already touched on the cognitive function. A specific study on overworked physicians provides a good example. It found that doctors with moderate to high or very high sleep-related impairments were 54 to 96% more likely to report a clinically significant medical error. I really want my doctors to get some sleep, man. On a similar note, getting enough sleep can improve academic performance in children, adolescents, and young adults. Now, I definitely think I had more problems than just sleep as an adolescent. Even you ever have that groggy feeling? Well, that's your brain saying you need more sleep. Sleep is obviously good for your workouts. The more energy, the more you can exert into those workouts. Thus, the more calories you're going to burn if that's your goal. Sleeping is when your muscles repair themselves. It's critical to living a healthy life. A lack of sleep contributes to heart disease as well. Did you know low sleep quality and duration may increase your risk of developing heart disease? One analysis of 19 studies found that sleeping fewer than 7 hours per night resulted in a 13% increased risk of death from heart disease. Another analysis found that compared with the 7 hours of sleep, each 1 hour decrease in sleep was associated with a 6% increased risk of all-cause mortality and heart disease. So what's more, short sleep appears to increase the risk of high blood pressure, especially in those with obstructive sleep apnea, a condition characterized by interrupted breathing during sleep. So be careful, because too much sleep can also have these same effects. So sleeping too much is also bad for our hearts. Poor sleeping affects our sugar metabolism and type 2 diabetes. Short sleep is associated with a great risk of developing type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance, which is when your body cannot use the hormone insulin properly. In fact, an analysis of 36 studies and over 1 million participants found that very short sleep, or fewer than 5 hours, and short sleep fewer than 6 hours increased the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 48%. That's kind of a big number for that. It's thought that sleep deprivation can cause physiological changes like decreased insulin sensitivity, increasing inflammation, and hunger hormone changes, as well as behavioral changes like poor decision making and greater food intake, all of which increase the risk of diabetes. Plus, sleep deprivation is associated with higher risk of developing obesity, heart disease, and metabolic syndrome. These factors also increase your risk of diabetes, as we just discussed. So I believe they're referring to type 1 diabetes. Poor sleep is also linked to depression. Mental health concerns, such as depression, are strongly linked to poor sleep quality and sleeping disorders. One study in 2,672 participants found that those with anxiety and depression were more likely to develop poor sleep scores than those without anxiety and depression. In other studies, people with sleeping disorders like insomnia or obstructive sleep apnea also reported higher rates of depression than those without. Sleeping also supports a healthy immune system. A lack of sleep has been shown to impair immune function. In one study, participants who slept fewer than 5 hours per night were 4.5 times more likely to develop a cold compared to those who slept more than 7 hours. Those who slept 5 to 6 hours were 4 to 5 times more likely. So maybe all those people getting colds all the time, maybe they're just not getting enough sleep. Some data also suggests that proper sleep may improve your body's antibody responses to influenza vaccines. And poor sleep is definitely linked to increased inflammation. Poor sleep can have a major effect on inflammation in the body. Sleep plays a key role in regulation of our central nervous system. In particular, it's involved in the stress response systems known as the sympathetic nervous system and the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal. Sleep loss, especially from distributed sleep, is known to activate inflammation signaling pathways and lead to higher levels of undesirable markers of inflammation, like intercalcurin. I'm not actually even sure what that one is. It's a type of a protein. And recently, preliminary data, all of a sudden I can't speak, maybe I need to get some sleep. So this preliminary data shows that getting enough sleep before and after receiving a COVID-19 vaccination may actually improve the vaccine efficacy. So still, more research is needed to do better and understand this possible connection. But I think getting more sleep is going to be better regardless. So over time, if you have chronic inflammation, sleep can cause the development of many chronic conditions, including obesity, heart disease, certain types of cancers, Alzheimer's disease, depressions, and type 2 diabetes. As you can see, sleep is really important, and it basically affects everything. If you're already struggling in any one of these areas, not sleeping enough could have serious consequences, especially over a period of time. It's one thing to go a couple days here and there. I work really hard, and in fact, last night, I stayed up a little bit later working, and I didn't get as much sleep as I normally do. But that's okay as long as I get myself back in check tonight and tomorrow night and I get back into that routine. Normally I sleep very well, and I think the trick really is activity, diet, and mindfulness. You need to walk more. Your body needs to move. It needs to exert energy. Let it out. Go burn some calories. Go to the gym. Hire a trainer if you can afford it. It's refreshing, and it helps free your mind. If something is bothering you, just go walk it off. Walking is great for your mental health, and that's part of mindfulness. So not allowing yourself to be upset as you approach bedtime. So if you need to go for a walk a few hours before you go to bed to decompress, then do it. You should also try meditation. Don't eat a bunch of sugar before bed. And I admit, when I do eat sugar, it is typically before bed, but for whatever reason, that doesn't seem to keep me up. That might keep some of you up. And definitely don't be drinking soda before you go to bed and expect to just fall right asleep. Develop a night routine and stick to it. Train your brain and your body to recognize the pattern you've created. This really does work. The 90 minutes leading up to bedtime, I basically do the same things every single night, and I've done this for a long time, and it does work. We're all different. Find the right amount of sleep for you and stick to that routine. Make healthy choices and embrace healthy living. It will help you sleep. So take care of yourself and go get some sleep. Jay Rooney Show.